You're actually there. I'm actually here. We're existing. It's
Yay!
2025. A
It's like
long
time
time.
travel with our episodes.
It is. Hello, everybody. We wanted to come on and do a catch up episode because, embarrassingly, the episodes you've listened to already are either 2 years, possibly 3 years old.
Maybe even five, actually. I was thinking back to the very first one we did. It was 5 years ago.
Yes, that is why I have aged. Yes, 100%. What was top of my mind was this thing of the episodes we put out for season 2 are old, and I was super worried about whether we should do that or whether that time in our lives is gone and it's not relevant anymore. But what was really cool is a friend of mine messaged me the other day, and she's a drummer and she's expecting a baby.
Oh,
And we were having a similar chat of, oh, there's no information about this anywhere. My doctor or nurse don't know anything about drums and pregnancy. What do I do? And so I gave her some advice, and then I also pointed her to this podcast because clearly there's not another podcast called Drummer Mamas, and this is still needed somewhere in our community.
yeah, definitely. I'm glad. And congratulations to your friend as well. That's lovely. I've also heard from a couple of people over the last few weeks, and they've just discovered the podcast. And it was really nice to be able to say, well, actually, it's not something new. If you go back and listen to the very first episode, yeah, it is 5 years old. That was when I was pregnant with my youngest, and you had just been out gigging after having your youngest. And I mean, so much has changed for both of us in that time, but this topic is still there, right? And it's still relevant to so many people, hopefully. So, yeah, I hope that more people can find us and listen to what our great guests have had to say as well over our past episodes.
Totally. And if you are liking this, dear listener, please share, review, spread the word so people know where we are and they can find us
Yeah.
easily.
But what have you been doing in the last 2 years? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so I guess what I want to connect here is from season 1, we spoke to Karen Wolf, and she was talking about women's drum camps. And it was honestly from that episode that I became obsessed with doing it in the UK. And so, what you don't know is that I reached out to Karen and we had some chats, and she was just, I mean, she's amazing, so lovely, so encouraging. And so I started doing women's drum camps, and that has basically taken over my life for the past however many years. And it's all because of her. And it's been really crazy. It's really been a whole mindset journey, as cheesy as that sounds, because I remember when I first put one on, I just thought, well, who's going to come? And can I do it? And what if I let everyone down? All the ideas, maybe not all the follow through person. But it's been really cool. It's been really amazing when you do the thing, do the thing you want to do, and you manage to do it. You don't fuck it up. It's really nice. So
Oh, I'm gonna right. There's something I have to say without getting emotional. So here we go. When we went to the UK drum show, so we were there in October, start of October, and it was so lovely to see this community of people that you've built up in that very short time, really, because you've got it just started from this idea, from this one podcast episode that you had this idea, and it was amazing. There are so many people who just they were all there to support you, or they were all there because you'd inspired them to go along to this drum show, and it was just beautiful. So well done. I'm very
Oh,
proud of you. It was lovely.
thank you. Thank you for always cheering me on and helping.
Yeah, of course.
And I always say this to the drum camp ladies, but they honestly have been such a gift because they gave me purpose that I didn't even know I was there or that I wanted or needed. And then being able to help women, especially, play the drums has just been like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Like, it's a whole deeper connection to drums through helping others, which is just, yeah, total life change moment. So I've been doing that. And you know what? I want to talk about this later maybe, but I just went all in and did as many as I could.
I know you did.
Like 8 per year,
Yeah,
just like boom, boom, boom. That thing of reps. I gotta keep doing as many as I can to like refine it, get better,
yeah.
and just keep trying and doing it. But that does lead to a bit of burnout. So, you know.
Well, hopefully you've reached a bit of a balance with it now and you know what you're doing. It looks really slick. It's really, really, really good.
Thanks.
And
So,
your book, I'm just talking about your book that we mentioned in the in our first episode of season 2. Um, you've got a copy which you're going to show in a minute, right?
the book, which you helped me to edit. Oh my word. So, this is the lesson of writing a book. It took so much longer than I ever would have thought because you think this is the idea, I'm going to write it, and then you realize that, oh, my writing is quite inconsistent here. I need some help. And then it just takes for it took a long time and it still is here. Is it? But I'm so glad it's like something that I really wanted to just get out.
Yeah.
Just not for a business thing, nothing, just because I thought odd times were sometimes taught in a negative or like complicated way, and it doesn't need to be, you
Hmm.
know? So I'm so pleased it's done. It's done. And
And what
thank
was it
you.
like when you first held the physical copy? How did you feel?
Yeah, I felt really good. I felt really good. Like opening the box from
Yeah.
Amazon, I was like, shit, it's here. But also, to be honest, I was so glad it was there, but I didn't really want to look inside.
In case you found
I,
a mistake.
yeah, yeah, I'm still a bit like,
Excuse me, I proofread
oh,
that book. There will be no mistakes.
never from you,
No, never.
from me. But yeah, it was a labor of love.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if I'll do it again, but I have so much more respect for authors everywhere because it's not easy. Odd Times Made Easy is the book. Writing it, no, not so much. Tell me about you because you've not only edited my book, you've been busy with other
That's it.
books, haven't you?
I have a funny story. So this links in with your thing of do the things. So exactly a year ago, I thought, right, I definitely need to find a teacher who I can go to. So I live in Hamburg, as you know. And I had seen Christin Neddens on Instagram, and I really like her fluidity when she plays. She just seemed really cool as well. And I saw that she lives in Hamburg, and I thought this could be interesting if she's around here. Maybe I can ask her for a lesson. I contacted someone at a company who I know looks after her, and they put me in touch with her and sorted out about lessons if she would like to do them and if she would have time. And she arranged a lesson for the following week where I felt so scared and I thought, I'm not ready. Like, I wasn't expecting it to work out that quickly. So I went along and I hadn't been for a lesson with anyone for about 7 years, I think. And I just felt really nervous. And she was lovely, straight away, lovely. And crazily, her studio, where she does everything from, is 10 minutes from where I live. And And as we were sitting there, she was giving me these exercises to do. And she said, oh, yeah, these are from my book that I'm writing. Obviously, that made my ears prick up because I'm editor and proofreader and do translation from German to English for a few drum books for Alfred Publishing. And interestingly, it turned out that her book is going to be published by Alfred. So it turned out that she was looking for a native English speaker to proofread her book and just make sure all the English was correct. And her book was going to be ready the following week. So if I had delayed this idea of mine about getting in touch with her, I would totally have missed out on this fact that she was writing a book. And it's worked out that I have proofread her book, checked the English and everything. And we've done a deal that she has then given me lessons as the payback. So it's been a really cool deal, hopefully for both of us. But for me, it's been wonderful because it's been so good to have lessons with someone again who, no disrespect to my previous teachers, because I've learned with a lot of great people, but learning with a woman has been so just like a totally different experience. And yeah, it's something that I really look forward to every time. I feel like I need to go and see someone to actually work on stuff. Otherwise, I just prioritize everything else above that. It's been, yeah, been really good.
Oh, it's so nice to see you like pumped about drums and lessons, because I remember from last time it was something that you wanted to give more time to. But I'm curious, what is it exactly, do you think, that makes it different being taught by a woman? What makes it different? What is it? Can you put your finger on it?
I think it's a few things. So I think firstly, there's like this connection to where you've come from. And she's sort of a similar age to us. So we've all had these same experiences growing up as drummers. And we've had a different experience to boys learning at that time. And we face the same things even now, even though the industry has changed and everything, thankfully. But still, there are things that men don't experience in the same way. And learning, I mean, I think Christine is she's very calm. And I was saying to her the last time that in her little studio, it sort of feels like a really, like almost a little sacred place to step into. And I'm able to completely just concentrate and let everything else go out of my mind for these couple of hours. And yeah, it's almost like sort of reaching a kind of meditative place with her sort of being like a guide. That sounds a bit, maybe, I don't know, bit crazy, but it's just a different, it's more like, it's not just drumming. It's like, it feels kind of like spiritual and yeah, I don't really know how to put my finger on it exactly, but does that sort of touch in with you and anything with how you feel with your students in your camps?
Yeah, it really does, because what means a lot to me is creating a vibe and the space so they feel safe to fuck up.
Yeah.
And I feel like the common thread with a lot of ladies I meet and myself is this struggle with confidence and self-belief. There's so many women who come and they're like, oh, I'm so scared, or I didn't think I could do this. And then by the end, it's like, oh, bloody did it. And so I think as women, we have maybe that understanding and compassion
Mm,
for each other. And we can maybe pick up on these things sometimes. Not all women, obviously. I don't want to generalize, but I don't think I've ever been given perhaps that level of care in that way from the male tutors I've had in my life, who have been absolutely incredible, and they've served their purpose then. But
yeah.
if I wouldn't say any of them really have made me more confident.
Well, I've had a couple of teachers who very different. Like some teachers gave me a lot of confidence, and some teachers really took away my confidence. And yeah, I don't know, it just feels like a lot like a much more gentle experience, like going for the lessons at the moment. It's more about also what I can achieve. And it's
Mm.
not, I don't know, it's not like she's putting expectations on me or something. It's really just like I can take what I need from it and I don't feel pressured. But I don't know if that's her as a character or if it's, yeah, if it's a general thing with having a woman as a teacher. But yeah,
She's
makes a nice
lovely.
change.
Shout out.
Yeah.
We
And the
love
book
you.
should be out hopefully this year. I mean, if we put this episode out not in 2 years, then I think the book will be out this year, 2025.
Cool.
Yes.
Maybe we can put it in the show notes or link
Yeah.
to her at least.
Yes, definitely.
So, has have your goals or your aspirations changed in the past few years? Where are you at now?
Yes. So for me, they've definitely changed. I think I'm much more relaxed with myself. I can feel myself getting a bit emotional.
It's okay.
It's not, I'm gonna ugly cry on the podcast.
I'll blare it out.
Can you do that? Can you pixelate my whole
Yeah, I
face?
can do it.
Oh, I have to get a grip. Sorry, 1 second. Um, no, I can't get a grip. You do it. I'm gonna have to think about what I want to say.
Okay. So I think my goals and aspirations have completely changed. When I started doing the drum camps, and it was this moment of, oh my God, I can actually do this and not fuck it all up and maybe make it successful business,
Mm.
then that was a complete, maybe like identity shift. And so it feels like I've spent most of my life trying to fit into a box of, from when I was 16, don't you dare call me a female drummer.
Yeah.
I thought it was an insult to, yeah, wanting to be at this event or this event in the drumming community and wanting to fit in. And I think now I've had this realization of I don't have to fit in and
Mm.
it's okay. And so, having had the past year, having really great experiences, drum camp book, UK drum show, but also feeling extremely burnt out,
Mm.
I now feel really settled in the fact that I just need to do it my way. And that might look crazy to 16-year-old me or to whoever down the road who's really wanting to be a great drummer and just balance more. So this is a long-winded answer, I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's giving me time to dry out my face.
Really, what I want to try and do is carve out a career that really aligns with me right now and my family. So that means spending time with the girls after school. It means not working in half term if I can. It means being able to earn money through the things that I'm best at, not anything else.
Mhm.
So that is my aim. I'm doing a retreat next year, and that's something that I really wanted to do. So just aligning with people who feel really good and are on the same path as me. This sounds so incredibly woo-woo.
No, it doesn't. I was talking about a meditative space. Don't worry.
So I guess like things like, am I happy? Do I feel really fulfilled and grounded? Can I really give 100% of me right now?
Mm.
And if I can't, then something's got to go because
Yeah.
throughout my whole life, it's been like busy, 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 busy. And I'm kind of done with that. So I'm learning to just take things a bit slower and put things like on my priority list higher and higher that matter to me rather
Yeah.
than trying to please everyone.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't really have big goals, but I do have just more like feeling. I need to
That's
feel
good.
really good. That's
Right,
it.
my face has dried, I think. So I'll try. So for me, it's the same. I feel like things are different to years ago, partly because the children are a bit older. So things have changed in that they don't need me in the same way that they did a few years ago. So like my evenings are different to how they used to be. My partner's got a different job, so he's no longer working evenings and weekends, which is so amazing and means that I have the chance to do more kind of music stuff that like I used to do. So I've got something quite insane to try out in the next month or so, which is I got in touch with a German, because I live in Hamburg, as I said, a German, it's like I think it's a bagpipe marching band that is like affiliated to one of the big football clubs here. And they seem to want people to play like snare drum and stuff. And I just thought I'll go along for a bit of a laugh and maybe it will help my German. And they were really keen for me to go along. So I mean, it could be horrendous. It might be really fun, but that's something I thought, oh, I'll try it because I'm really missing the connection to playing music with other musicians at the moment. I'm really enjoying practicing, but actually just going and meeting people and playing music is something that I need to put as a higher priority for me.
That sounds so cool.
It
You'll
might be mad.
When is it?
It's totally up to me when I go along. They just said, "Oh, this is where we practice. You can come along and see us and see what you think." And I mean, it's not so far-fetched because as a teenager, I was totally uncool. I was completely the opposite of you at 16. So you were listening to like prog rock and playing odd time signatures. I was playing in a brass band in Swindon, doing percussion. And but this kind of made me feel a bit like it's sort of slightly going back to my very uncool roots as a teenager. But hopefully it'll just be fun. So yeah.
It sounds cool to me. If you love it, that's enough. That's it.
We'll
That's
see.
really nice. You're gonna have to update us for
I will.
sure
I will.
with the
I just
picture.
the only downside is I've seen that they do wear kilts for their gigs and stuff. I'm not sure how this is going to be, but I'll tell you another time anyway. Yeah. How are you feeling from the last time that we did like an update together? You'd had that comment by someone about how you weren't playing music because you weren't with a band. How do you feel like in yourself since that time?
On a drumming level,
Yeah, just everything. I mean, it was 2 years ago and a lot can happen then, can't it? A lot can develop.
yeah. What I'd say is, I still get the odd comments, and it does my head in. Like, I had a message from someone on Instagram, and I've had it on Facebook too, and then they call me, they try and ring
Wow.
me. And I
Okay.
said this to Neil, my husband, and he was like, "What the fuck? Why are they calling you?" I was like, "I don't know. Like, I don't think this would happen if I was a dude." So that kind of, I'm kind of a bit over it with comments from guys about stuff, and I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm
I'm
gonna.
glad you are.
I'm gonna. So around the time that my book was out, um, I got quite a few messages from guys who I didn't know particularly well
Hmm.
on Facebook saying, "Oh, I see you have a drum book out about odd time. You know what you should do? You should read this book about odd time." And I got like two of these messages in one day. I was like, I'm gonna swear a lot, but what the fuck? Like what makes you think, one, I want to read that book? Two, I need to. Three, I even care.
Yeah.
Four, why the fuck are you messaging me anyway? Like,
5, you might have read that book anyway. How do they know that you haven't?
yeah, you know, fuck all. You know nothing about me. You don't know that I've been playing odd time since, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. And I'm not saying I'm the expert either. I'm just contributing and I'm just saying this is my opinion. This is like what has helped me.
Yeah.
And so I was just feeling like, go fuck yourself. I just felt so annoyed. And I think it's just being out of my comfort zone, isn't it? I haven't had that
Right.
before. I haven't done a book before. And I guess it probably brought up some things in me feeling maybe not worthy or a bit like, oh, what do I say?
Oh,
So,
it makes you a bit vulnerable, I guess, as well, doesn't it? Because that's something you've really worked on for a long time, and then people, they can judge it how they want to, and that's a hard thing to deal with, but you should be proud
yeah,
anyway. It's a great book. No
thanks.
mistakes.
None. Thanks, Biff.
Ah,
Yeah, it's funny, what you were saying earlier about our kids are older now, so it is different, and you go through different stages with the kids. Like they might need you for bedtime, or then they might need you for this or
Mm.
whatever. Um, and a friend of mine has just had a baby, and she said to me, "Oh my goodness, having my baby has made me really just like laser focus of what I want to do now." But she said it kind of with like a laugh because she said, "But I don't have the time now.
Yeah.
I'm changing nappies now. I'm breastfeeding now." But we had this connection where she was like, "Ah, yeah, I feel like it's all coming together and I get it now. Having children can really laser make your focus laser beam like because you're doing it in part for them or and for you."
Mm. Yeah, I find that like if I had the focus now, or no, if I had my focus now back then, I would be able to get so much practice done. Like I used to think, this thing of like, oh yeah, but today I've done 4 hours practice or something. I mean, really, that's also a lot of the stuff that I've been doing with Christine about even if you practice 5 minutes every day, but you do 100% concentration and it's 100% practice, then that's more effective than practicing like 0% for 4 hours every day. And yeah, I just wish that I knew that back then.
Yeah, it's better to do it now
It is.
than never. That's
And it's different now as well, isn't it? It's like the what you get from it is different, or at least for me, it's really then 100% something that I'm doing that no one else is a part of, which is also like something that my family has to learn as well, because they just want to sort of take over everything. So like join in, not take over, but they want to join in. And it's like, no, that's actually something that I'm doing for me. And that's good when we all know that. So
100% boundaries.
boundaries.
Side note, reading a book called Boundary Boss by Terry Cole. Terry, you're not going to listen to this, but
I
game changer, game changer.
Oh, I definitely should read that as well. Boundaries are a problem. I'm getting better, but that's again something I wish that I knew when I was younger, or something I had been taught a bit more about when I was younger.
Same, same. But what has helped me? I haven't finished it yet, but there's this bit about internal boundaries,
Hmm.
and it made me go, "Oh yeah, I don't think mine are very strong." Because sometimes with the kids, I'm like the soft one. Quinn, she even calls me the soft one. So I'm like, oh fuck. Oh, found out.
Oh,
So
I love it.
I've been implementing that a little bit more. Like, no is no. That is an answer.
Oh,
But it's like keeping promises to yourself. Like I've been exercising, like working out most days since, I don't know, New Year, maybe before New Year. And just realizing like, yeah, you're allowed that priority can go bing right up here. You can have that time for yourself because before I'd so easily go, oh no, it's okay. Neil can work out now, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. And somewhere there was a shift of you're letting yourself down all the time because you wanted
mm,
to work out and you've just let it go like it was nothing.
mm.
Make it like a no, this is part of my day now.
Yeah. I think that's something that I feel I'm really annoyed at myself with for drumming actually, because I used to play so much and then from this one job where I was really busy to then going straight into having children. and then not really having much time. I just, in the last 10 years, have lost so much time that I could have spent drumming, even if it was a tiny amount every day, but I didn't. I really prioritized everything else above that. And now I feel like, oh, I have lost a decade really. So that is a bit depressing, but also good that I can kind of see that now, at least it's not 20 years. It could be worse, you know. So
Exactly. And I just think everything has its time and its place. And it's right that that we weren't prioritizing drumming when our kiddies were tiny, because they're our focus, and that's
yeah,
okay. And sometimes I feel like we should say making drumming, like, not, drumming doesn't have to be number one for it to still mean something to you. And
yeah,
sometimes I feel like there's this whole, getting on something else now, practice shaming, like, you know what I mean? It's like you do what you can when you
yeah,
can. And it's amazing where you're at now, but you couldn't have done that a few years ago. Just wasn't
yeah.
possible.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's this thing about, yeah, there being an age for everything, like you were just mentioning. I find that really comforting as well. That's something I didn't really think about when my children were little, or I maybe did hear it, but I just didn't take it on board. But really, there is this time where things just will start to work out again when you have children. So if you're at the very, very beginning of your story of having a family and you have a tiny baby and you're thinking, I am never going to get time for playing music, it will happen. And
It will.
that's, if you want it to, maybe your priorities will change as well and you won't want to do things in the same way, but it will work out. The children do get older, they eventually do sleep, I promise, through the night. And yeah, it will get better.
It's so true. That is words of wisdom. You're right. The time will come, and like, don't wish it away. Like, there's so
Mm,
much I miss. There's so much I miss from when they were little.
yeah,
So,
it's
God, I get
nice.
emotional every time it's like back to school after half term.
No,
I'm like, it's going so fast.
me too. I get so emotional at every birthday of them. The night before their birthday, I am a mess. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I'm just like, oh, it's so big. Oh, it's only, I was thinking with my daughter, she turned 8 in December, and I was thinking, it's only 10 more years until she's an adult, and that's basically half of her life already. And I was a mess, absolute mess. I have to dry my face off again.
It's true. It feels like so often as mums, you're having this identity crisis and trying to figure out who you are again while trying to learn how to parent. And then in this whole process, you're like, well, I need to be able to be successful and do this career. And then on that journey, you're like, wait, I need to just see my kids though. And it's this
Yeah.
whole like crazy learning experience where I think you come back to, yeah, well, I'm really grateful I've got my kids and I want to spend time with them and I want to do my thing. But it's like a game. I think
It
you've called
is.
it a game before where you level up. Oh, I didn't die from the lack of sleep. And then it's like, oh, I didn't
Well,
die from doing this drum camp and then getting up to do this and then doing that. And you're like, okay, right, let's figure it out. It's all part of it. I don't think you ever
it
have it
is.
sussed, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, when you talk to old ladies and they're just like, yeah, you know, it's fine. It's fine. You're gonna find it your way through. And it's true, you do. You just have to get advice from the right people along the way, I guess. Listen to the right podcasts.
Yay! That seems like the perfect ending.
It does. All right. I'll see you on the next one when we have
See you in three
an
years.
unbelievably exciting guest. We've got it planned
Yay!
already.
We've got it planned
Have
already. Have we? Yeah, we do.
we do. See you.
Bye! Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please do share and give us a 5-star rating. That will help people to find us in future. Until next time, take care.